the dinosaurs, the ammonites, and well, I should say the dinosaurs that weren't flying around.
Yeah, except the birds.
The non-flying
those bird dinosaurs survived.
Right. But all the other dinosaurs die off, and a bunch of like big sea reptiles die off.
Yeah, big stuff. You said the operable word here, big.
Mm-hmm. But about 50% of the species, is that right?
That's the estimate. Yeah. But once again, this is based on how many species that have a fossil record. We don't know about the worms and the stuff that never preserves anyway. We're presuming. There's a lot of presumption and hoping that goes on in paleontology. Yeah. But that's the guess.
And so then this big Permian one, 250 million years ago, is like 90. Well, you're saying maybe not quite 90 now?
Well, I have actually done some preliminary work that suggests it wasn't the 90, but nevertheless, it still was the biggest.
Yeah. I've written about the Permian-Triassic extinction a couple times, and it definitely has not sort of grabbed the public attention anywhere near like the dinosaur extinction, the KT extinction 65 million years ago. It really doesn't. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just that there weren't big, sexy animals that keeled over.
And that's part of it.
I don't know, but I mean, it was so huge, and maybe it's because it's also complicated. I don't know. Maybe let's talk about sort of what you think is what happened 250 million years ago.
Well, you're totally correct about the animals, although I think that's really, the animals are being shortchanged. There was a predator called a gorgon, a gorgonopsian. Mm-hmm. The skulls are as large as 2 feet in length. The total animal, about 13, 14 feet, most probably smaller, 10 feet, 8 feet. But like gigantic lions that still have a body squatter, something like a crocodile. Think of a long-legged crocodile with a big, nasty lion's head, scaly. These were pre-mammals. They had mammal characteristics and reptilian characteristics, and there were lots of them, many species. A whole world destroyed by this particular mass extinction. Luckily, a couple of the little guys get through it, because they become the mammals, and we don't have this conversation if that survival doesn't take place. But nevertheless, they're not dinosaurs, and therefore it really hasn't attracted the attention that the very sexy dinosaurs have.
Yeah. So 250 million years ago, actually, like dinosaurs are just getting off the ground, right? And there weren't.
No, there's still a faraway gleam in their ancestors' eyes.
Oh, so you've just got sort of their reptilian ancestors around, yeah.
Well, we're just getting to crocodiles then. The whole stem group, the archosaurs, that are going to give rise to the crocodile lineages, which do survive, and then the big dinosaur lineages, which survive as well as birds. I mean, that big grouping of dinosaurs. Birds are perfectly good dinosaurs. The big ones, though, the iconic dinosaurs, all die out. But they don't get around to getting going until the latter part of the Triassic. Right. So you're talking about the Permian extinction is 250 million years ago. Dinosaurs themselves first start up somewhere between 230 and 225. So 25 million years later, there's dinosaurs.
So you've just got reptile-type things crawling around. You've got sort of mammal,
Yeah, they're mammalian-like, and the true mammals arrive at about the same time the true dinosaurs do. But prior to that, you have stuff that looks getting almost dinosaur-like. You've got bipedal guys as well as quadrupeds. You've got mammal-like things that are like big cows walking around, stumbling around. So it's becoming increasingly modern. But then along comes the whole dinosaur lineage, which really takes over the planet. But that's a different story. They get theirs, of course, as we know. But the first big crisis that they and everybody had to undergo was another of these big five, the Triassic, Jurassic mass extinction.
Well, I want to talk about the Permian.
Got it. Okay. They're like bookends.
I want to talk about the big one.
Got it.
So, and it's so in the extinction. I mean, when you look at the fossil record, you're seeing a bunch of these reptilian things on land becoming extinct. Plants, right? There are a bunch of plants.
Lots of plants, sure.
They're disappearing. And in the ocean, it's pretty devastating too, right?
Absolutely. It was so devastating that this was recognized in 1860 by a man named John Phillips. And that recognition led him to the terms we still use. Paleozoic, Mesozoic, and Cenozoic. All they mean is that you got three groups of of animals really on planet Earth.
Yeah.
And the Permian extinction ends the Paleozoic. And I mean, Paleozoic means old life.
Yeah.
Mesozoic, middle life. So catastrophic was it
Yeah.
that you killed off almost everything, and therefore you re-evolved an entirely new group of organisms. Big time extinction.
Yeah, so mass extinctions can really they don't just knock some things out, they give evolution a chance to sort of reorganize the whole playing table.
And it, not only does it give it the chance, it happened
Yeah.
over and over. Yes, you never get the same stuff back.
Right.
You get new lineages, new winners, and sometimes there's things lying in the weeds, just waiting their turn. Like we have these things called brachiopods, which have two shells that look all the world like clams. But until the Permian extinction, the clams, which are actually, turns out, physiologically superior in many ways, there's an evolutionary incumbency, and an incumbent can be inferior and still hold on to things. Well, once you're knocked off by mass extinction, you reset everything. Yeah, they're huge scale. They're the largest scale evolutionary events.
I see. Yeah. So it's not. I mean, that's another interesting thing about these extinctions. It's you don't even if you are someone might consider you the quote best adapted or the most fit species or whatever that means. You might still get knocked out.
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely knocked out. Yeah, and it happened. And with the impact, there's almost no rhyme nor reason other than the one factor that led to survival was you were small or you lived deep, or on land you were able to bury your eggs or bury yourself, and you weren't big. Dinosaurs just couldn't hide anywhere. Now the other extinctions, there were different factors, but sometimes it's chance, sometimes it was pre-adaptation. You lucked out, but a lot of luck was involved.